Hey everybody, it's Chris. Welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. If you're not familiar with this channel, I like to drink craft beers, I like to review craft beers, and I don't like to pay a whole lot of money to do it. So the beers that I review on this channel usually come in around the $2 price range. And such is the case for today's selection. I paid $1.99 for the 12-ounce can of Flying Fish XPA Citra Pale Ale. I'm going to show you the can now. I have a little different configuration here. I'm trying to see if maybe this is more conducive to workflow. We'll just have to see. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me if I seem a little slow or unaware of where things are. But here we go. The XPA Citra Pale Ale, excuse me, from Flying Fish Brewing Company. They're out of New Jersey. This can is, what did I just see? It's 2 months from its drink by date, so that's great. Has a 5.2 ABV. Typically, American Pale Ales have between 4.5 and 6.2 ABVs. Has 27 IBUs. Typically, American Pale Ales come in between 30 and 50 IBUs. So this is on the lower end of the hoppy scale, and I'm thinking I might know why that is. And turns out that was their original, this is their flagship beer, Flying Fish. This was the Pale Ale. And I do know, I've read more than once, that the most common variety in craft breweries prior to the IPA craze was Pale Ale. Um, my hometown brewery, Boulevard Brewing, when I think of them, I think of their unfiltered wheat and their pale ale. Those were like the two beers that they had, the two flagship beers. Everything else beyond that was sort of gravy, but it was the pale ale and the wheat. So this was actually Flying Fish's original brew, and let's see what here. This is a citrus forward version, so I'm guessing because of the Citra hops, and you see the citrus sun there. Obviously, this is more citrusy, or should be. Extra Pale Ale, simply known as XPA, was our original beer. It's been a companion for many along their craft beer journey, like a change of scenery. This updated version is Citra hop forward and begins a new chapter for XPA. So there you have it. Also, when I went to their website, I discovered it said that cans were coming soon, which makes me think here, gang, that this might be one of the first sets of cans to come out of here. So this could be a recently canned beer. Those of you who come to this channel regularly know that I am a fan of canned beers. Let's see what else we got on here. Okay, yes, the hops of which this is composed: Warrior, Palisade, Citra, Eldorado. The malt: Superior Pilsen, Munich, Oats Wheat, Honey Malt, Vienna Malt. Used Chico Ale yeast. Want to know what the review community thought of it? Okay, I have only one friend so far who's reviewed it on Untappd, Allison. Hi, Allison, if you're out there watching. 3.75 is what she gave it. Only 1,406 of us on Untappd have even reviewed it, giving it a 3.68 cumulatively. So that's in a pretty good range. Beer Advocate has only four reviews, gives it a 3.74, which on their scale is a good scale. So um, I do think it's kind of funny though that it is funny, and yet it's not, because okay, I think the IBUs that I mentioned before, the 27 IBUs, I think that is very possibly because at the time of pale ales, a super hop forward pale ale was just not what we were looking for quite yet, because like I said, the IPA craze hadn't quite hit. So I'm thinking maybe that's why it's slightly low on those IBUs, because typically an American pale ale comes in between, what did I just say, 30 and 50? Yeah, 30 and 50 IBUs. Going to be using my British pint glass. The reason for that is that the pale ale actually started out as a British beer. The American version made it more hoppy. So consider that when you think about the lower end of IBUs for this particular pale ale. But just about with every version, if you've watched this channel regularly, I'm going to be saying something you've probably heard before, and I apologize for repeating myself, but I have to bear in mind the new people who are watching. Just about every version of beer out there that didn't start here in America, the American version almost always is hoppier. Hop forward, take the same recipe and make it more hoppy, hop forward variety. That's how you make something American, basically, is you add more hops to it. Okay, this is a nice citrus color. You're seeing maybe, I gotta say at least two shades darker. This is actually a nice hazy kind of golden color. That head is, I'm going to say, semi-resilient. You know, I'm seeing bubbles popping, but it's also nice and frothy sitting on top there. I'm going to give this a beard wipe, see what we come across. Smelled a lot of lemon and orange right then. A lot of citrus just in that right there. Let's stick my schnoz in, see what more I can get. Smelling those citra hops, boy, sure can. Yes, indeedy. I've got to say that those had to make up at least, I'd say at least 40% of the hop profile, because that is definitely what I smell. So I think I should quit talking and start drinking. Cheers. Okay, first impressions. Going to describe that as about a medium-high mouthfeel, actually kind of spiky. Absolutely no alcohol burn whatsoever. Very smooth, easy drinking. Just enough hoppy bitterness to let you know that you're dealing with an American variety of the beer. I mean, I couldn't see this being a British beer. This would be, I mean, a British would call this a bitter, basically. Do seem to have nice lacing on that, though. I'm going to try and bring in, there we go. See that lacing right there? For a pale ale with a 5.2 ABV, that's some nice lacing, gang. The flavor is very bright and crisp, almost lager-like in its bright and crispness. But as I saw, they did use Pilsen malt, and that doesn't surprise me. This has a real just brightness and tastiness. Man, I had no idea there was going to be so much air traffic. Um, anyway, I've got to say this is a damn good beer. Um, I was going to give it a 4.0, but you know it does come in a can. 4.25. Hell, you know what? This may actually deserve a 4.5. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably going to be one of at least the top three, if not the top American Pale Ale of 2019 for me, and I really do believe that. Because this is a hell of a beer, and the fact that I managed to get it 2 months before its drink by date, which is pretty good for me. Normally, I'm notorious for coming in late on those things. So, all in all, good selection, good beer. Look at that, gang, look at that lacing. We got 2 tiers of lacing now. Look at that. That's incredible. Guys, this is a hell of a beer. If you note, he's shows people hiking with like a river and then the mountains back there. And in New Jersey, you got to figure that's what the Adirondacks or what have you. But man, this is the kind of beer you take to the lake, to the river, to the beach if you're lucky enough to have a beach. I've lived in Middle America most of my life, so I didn't really have a beach. But anyway, it's a great beer. I'm all for it. I'm thinking you need to go out and buy this. I'm also thinking that you know, with summer here in full swing now, I'm probably going to go pick up a 6 pack of this and just keep it in the fridge because this is exactly the kind of beer you want to throw to a friend when they say, "Man, I'm thirsty." All right, gang. So if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.